What's going on, guys? Jeff back with another video. Well, today we're going to be doing a cool review of this NECA Toys King Features Flash Gordon figure. It's a callback to the late 70s Filmation cartoon, and I think it's a really cool figure. If you recall, I also did a review of the Defenders of the Earth Flash Gordon. I think this figure is far superior to that one, so we're going to take him back to the shop and do a review of this guy. Hey guys, what's going on? So here it is. This is the King's Features Flash Gordon figure by NECA. Before we get started with the review of this figure, I want to go over this figure here, which you saw in my What's in the Shop back in December, I believe. So a year ago, around Toy Fair time, NECA had announced this figure along with a Ming the Merciless figure, which is on the back of this card. And there's also, you can see down here, their Defenders of the Earth line, which is separate from these. But they announced these two figures carded as part of their new Flash Gordon launch of figures, which are inspired by the Mattel Filmation late 1970s cartoon, which is a great cartoon, by the way. If you guys can remember that. I watched it a lot as a kid along with Tarzan. But anyways, this was a Toy Fair exclusive that you could order through NECA's website. I only purchased the Flash Gordon, and I'll probably leave him in the package for a while. I don't plan on getting him out since it's pretty collectible. They only made so many of them. But after they announced these figures during Toy Fair, they announced that they were going to have a direct-to-consumer line of figures that were similar to this, and that's where we got our King Features Flash Gordon. And you can see on the back here, you have the Flash Gordon, which we're going to cover today. You have a Ming the Merciless, and we're also going to get another Phantom. Now, I don't collect Ming the Merciless. I'll probably regret that. But I did get this version of the Phantom because it's one of my favorite versions of the Phantom. I do love the Defenders of the Earth line, but this version of Flash Gordon and the Phantom is something that I find really cool and highly collectible, and can't wait to add these to my pantheon of heroes at my desk at work. So the packaging, again, is very reminiscent of NECA. Top shelf, really good packaging. A little bit better than the Defenders of the Earth line of packaging. You can see the packaging is stenciled and lithographed to look like it's damaged and whatnot. It does have a nice vintage style Flash Gordon art, box art. The original superheroes from the old 1930s, as we know. Gives a bio of Flash Gordon on the back. And just a nice set of collectible box art. So, and you know, if you've ever seen NECA Toys box art, you know that they go all in on that. It's part of the collectible. It's part of the reason that these are around $40 MSRP. I think this was close to $40-some too. But there's a collectability value with this that you won't find with the direct-to-market ones like this. So we'll pause the video and we'll come back and we'll get this guy out of his get this guy out of his package. Alright guys, so here he is, the King Features Flash Gordon out of the package. There are a few things off the bat. I'm going to give NECA another F for packaging. Getting this guy out of the package is a pain in the butt. But I managed to do it without tearing anything up. I'm not even going to bother removing the pieces from here yet because they're all taped in there and I don't even want to screw with all that. So he does come with a really cool sword, as you can see here in this picture. I thought that was really dope collectible. The sword is awesome. And then he comes with a cool Flash Gordon blaster. Very retro inspired. Two different hand variations like the Defenders of the Earth line, as well as, like the Defenders of the Earth line, the laser gun accessories for it. And then he comes with an additional head sculpt, which doesn't have the, whatever you would call this, headgear, the wrestling headgear. But the figure has a cool holster, which pops open to put his blaster in. This is very indicative of the 1970s, late 70s Flash Gordon figure from that Filmation TV series. The whole outfit basically is almost the same. The figure itself is, in my opinion, a little poorly made. It feels like it was thrown together and the joints are super tight and they don't look very uniform. So the guy leans when he stands, which shows me that there's a little bit of a quality control issue. You can see the boots are all brown, but the pegs are blue, so they didn't do a very good job of painting these to match everything, which I've had that problem with these in the past. Now they did something better this time. They actually molded the hands out of a flesh tone rather than paint them, because like if you've seen my Defenders of the Earth Flash Gordon review, you know that I got a little salty over the fact that the paint wears off and on the flesh tone. It makes no sense. So if you're going to pay that much money for a figure, the whole sculpt of the figure looks very nice though. I'm sure that they borrowed different sculpts from figures they've already done. He doesn't stand very well because the joints are a little wacky. He needs a V8 because he keeps leaning. But might have to put like a hair dryer on him and do, because you can see this leg is so tight right now. Not sure what's going on with that. Such a disappointing thing with NECA. I feel like I have battered wife syndrome with them. I keep going back to them because they do promote really cool things, but their figures are, to be honest with you, their figures are kind of dog shit for what they charge you. I mean, this is like a $40 figure, and this is what you get. You might as well just get a statue. This is disappointing, but of course, you know, I like to have stuff like this. It has allegedly 33 points of articulation, and it is a nice looking figure. I shouldn't get angry at it, but it is slightly different than the Toy Fair version that I got. The pistol is all metallic silver in this one, where it's more of a gunmetal gray in the version of this one. The coloring is slightly different. The reds are a little different. As you can see, the little belt's a little different. The boots are different. This is probably more along the lines of the actual figure that was in the Filmation series. I didn't go back and rewatch any of those, but I would have to assume that was the case. I'm probably never going to pop this out for a long time, so I can't really tell you what the quality is, but I'm assuming it's similar to this. This guy, of course, doesn't have a holster for his blaster, which this guy does, which I think's a positive. And he doesn't come with the head variation like this one as well. It gives the classic Flash Gordon headgear that we'd see. So, yeah, you know, for what you pay for this figure, it's not worth it. And it's disappointing because I think NECA comes up with really good concepts, but I think they struggle to get them out. And they just end up putting out poor quality figures and overcharging for them. So, and I don't think there's any excuse for that. If you're going to charge people $40 for a figure, you need to give them a $40 figure. You shouldn't give them a piece of trash. Even though it looks cool, it's still kind of a piece of trash figure. So, if you're a Flash Gordon guy, we're a fan of the 1970s cartoon, and you just like having stuff like this, then I would get it. But if you're looking for a really cool figure, I think you can find better ones. I think Boss Fight Studios is doing some Flash Gordon figures that are a little bit less than this, but are probably way higher quality than this. You know, and shame on NECA for putting out trash like this. And I'm being honest, you know, I see a lot of these toy reviews from places, I'm not going to mention names. But these guys come on there and they just sit there in their fancy podcast studios, you know, with their little mohawk haircuts, looking all trendy, and just give you some of the most dog shit reviews of toys. They just love, not dog shit in a bad way, like they just love all over these toys. It's almost like you can just see the dollar signs in merchandise pouring in from all these toy companies to pump these things up for these trendy little social media goons. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like those reviews, and I try to be honest with the ones I have, and there's a lot of people who thumbs down a lot of my reviews too, so, but I don't give a shit. I just don't think it's worth the money, but it is a cool figure, but definitely not worth the money you'd have to drop on it. So that's my review of this King Features Flash Gordon figure, guys. I hope you like the review. If you don't like the review, I'm sure I'll find out. Hit the like and subscribe button. Push the notification icon. Until next time, cheers.